Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's clear to me from listening today that we still have a lot of work left to do. I want to start with trying to look at this issue from 30,000 feet. For many years now, college athletics has generated enormous revenues. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's a good thing. The Supreme Court comes along in the Alston case, is that right? In 2021, and changes where that money's going. Before, that money was going to TV stations and universities and coaches and others, I guess, construction companies that were building the new stadiums. And then after the Supreme Court decides the Alston case in 2021, the kids start getting paid. And all hell breaks loose. I mean, is that what is going on here? The fact that the money is being redistributed, and that's going to cause the world to spin off its axis because the kids are getting a share of the dough? Governor?
What I would say, Senator, in response to the Alston decision is there is flexibility for schools that can afford to make Alston payments to do so, and they can make Alston payments in particular sports as long as they manage to satisfy the Title IX requirements. And they can choose what level they want to support, and they can also choose to play or not.
But you're getting down into the weeds, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. We're going to have to get in the weeds. But that's what before the Alston case, everything was just fine. And then the Alston case is handed down, and the kids start getting some of the money, not the adults. The adults have got a share. And all of a sudden, the world's on fire. What am I missing here?
For the record, I support the Alston stuff. I also support NIL. I just would like to see a little more transparency and support for information to make it easier for student athletes to succeed in this space.
Well, let me make this suggestion to you, and I want to hear from the rest of the panel. I would strongly encourage you and your colleagues to try to get together and come up with a new system for us to consider that looks like somebody designed it on purpose. You may regret asking Congress to intervene here. All of a sudden, you're going to be micromanaged. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't, and my colleagues have raised excellent points, and it sounds to me like we do have a bit of a I don't know, wild, wild west, as Chairman Blumenthal described it. But I'd be real careful before you invite Congress in, start micromanaging your business. Let me go back to the original question. Any of you, what am I missing about this? Isn't this fight over the fact that the kids are now getting some of the money that the adults were getting before? Yes, sir.
Absolutely, absolutely. The injustice that has been inflicted on college athletes seemed to be fine for the industry until we won some court rulings and state legislatures started passing laws. Essentially, the industry had a monopoly on college athletes' NIL value. They owned every penny. Nike wants to slap a logo on a kid, got to pay the school. Kid can't get a penny. That's what this is about. Many of the schools even said, hey, if that happens, we're going to lose money. Well, that means you've been stealing money from these kids. If it's against, like, the Supreme Court, if it violates antitrust law, that's the problem. You know, the opposition, even employment stats, all this is about, we don't want to pay them fairly. You know, NIL, just so you know, this is not equitable economic situation here. That's like saying, go get another job because we're not going to pay you for what you do here. we're in a cap. You have a national price fix for a scholarship, no matter, and a lot of these schools, I don't know if that's me or
That's
not.
the NFL, man.
Is it? So, and we can't treat every division as if it's the same. FBS schools masquerading as D3 schools, saying there are no employees here. And Notre Dame, I know I would imagine they have students in the bookstore as employees. It doesn't seem to harm their educational opportunity. There's no congressional hearings about that. We're talking about equal rights. And this industry is operating in illegal fashion. It's breaking antitrust law, breaking labor laws, and now it's coming home. And players are getting, avenues and levers and pulling leverage, and here we are saying the sky's going to fall, but it's not the truth.
I agree with you. I don't mean to go over so much, Mr. Chairman. We are talking about rights here, but we're also talking about money. And it just seems to me that this controversy, in part, has been caused by a model of redistribution for that money. And I've got a lot of sympathy for the kids, I have to tell you. The adults seem to be able to take care of themselves, but it's the kids that make all this possible. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.